I am Lisa DeRue-Cole, and I am a limited term, 1-year assistant professor in HPED. Oh gosh, okay. The highlight of my summer has probably been coming out to England, where I am for my brother-in-law's wedding. I think if I would probably say that I did move out to England for love, which is sort of funny. I met someone when I was 26. When I finished my master's, I moved to England. I had a job. I got a job first teaching out here at a university. And I moved to England and everyone thought I was nuts. I barely known him. And thank goodness I ended up marrying him. And I'm actually in London right now. As I said. And so, yeah, it's kind of it's quite a unique experience. I lived in England for 6 years, did my PhD. We lived in a village called Thamesditton, which is just south of London. It's just on the outskirts, and it's funny. It's a small little village, but there's already, there's 3 pubs in the village. So it's one of those very English, traditional, very short buildings, made of stone. So that's where I spent 6 years. Just finished The It Girl by Ruth Ware, and I love Ruth Ware. I've been reading Ruth Ware for years. From the early days of her writing, and I really, really enjoyed The It Girl. It's a sort of mystery, murder type story. Just lots of fun. Well, I would say it's been kind of interesting. Over COVID, I found new wellness tools. One of them is puzzling. I'm really into, now it's a verb, puzzling, the act of puzzling. I really love puzzling. And also painting, so like paint by numbers. I've actually started to do these little things that I never did before COVID. And then before that, it's always been spinning or indoor cycling. That's been one of my favorite things to teach.
Erin Sanderson, I'm the Administrative Assistant to the Chair of the Health and Physical Education Department. One highlight from my summer is being with my family. I lived in New Brunswick last year, so this year is a whole new story, being able to hang out with them and my sister and my brother-in-law and the grandbabies and my son and everybody. So it's great that I get to spend time with them. I have been to Big Ben and to 10 Downing Street. And not many Londoners can say that. They actually have to send a letter to their government in order to do this. But I have a cousin who works for the Parliament, so she knows Paul the clockmaker and arranged for us to go up Big Ben, 331 steps, and then go actually inside 10 Downing Street. So that's my cool story.
More
10 Downing Street is the Prime Minister's residence.
Oh.
And it was Tony Blair at the time, I believe. Of course, he wasn't there, and we were only allowed in his front room. We stroked his cat, and my dad sat in Churchill's chair. The original chair that Churchill sat in was in this room, and my dad sat in his chair. So it's pretty cool. I worked at the New Brunswick Community College in St. John for 20 years. I worked in a whole bunch of different departments. I started off in quality management, included some international stuff, worked all over the place. The last 9 years, I worked at the Allied Health Building, working for the chair, for the department head of Allied Health. Well, my greatest dream that I had so far has been realized. When I was living in New Brunswick, I was there for 20 years and grew up in Alberta, was always an Alberta girl and always wanted to move back to Alberta. And I always said if I moved back to Alberta, I wanted to work at Mount Royal University because I graduated in 1990 when it was still a college. And I always wanted to come back and work here. So I'm here and my dream has been realized.
Right. Hi, my name is Trevor King. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Health and Physical Education. Well, this summer I actually got to go to Ireland. My wife played in the Ultimate Frisbee World Championships there. So I got to see Ireland and I got to see my wife play. So that was a pretty exciting highlight of summers. We also stayed for a couple of weeks and traveled around the west coast of Ireland. Did a bunch of biking out there, and it's absolutely beautiful, if not cold, of a country. So I went to school for 10 years at Queen's University in Kingston. I did a physical education there in undergrad, and then I did a master's and PhD in kinesiology at Queen's. I also played basketball there and played ultimate frisbee for Queen's University. So probably spent a lot of my time thinking about sports, but I also spent a lot of time at Queen's getting my education. For the past 3 years, I worked at McMaster University in kinesiology. I was an assistant professor there and met some great friends along the way, hoping to keep working with those friends in the future. I try to get outside as much as possible. I really like biking, whether that's mountain biking, gravel biking, road biking. I do some bike packing. The past few years, I've gotten more into camping, and I'm excited to do more outdoor things in the Rockies and some things that I couldn't do back when I lived in Ontario.